Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. Happy Monday.
Yeah, you too. It's my first day back from vacation. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's give it a minute. There's a couple of other people that I believe are joining. And hi, Daniel. Good to see you here. Letting a few more people in from the waiting room. Good morning, everyone. Glad to see you here. I know there's about another 3 or 4 people who will be joining us. So if I look a little distracted, it just means that I'm watching the notifications as people arrive in the waiting room. But let's dive in. How was your weekend? Love to hear from you. Tell me how it was. You can type it in the chat. That would be great. And while you're doing that, I realized that I never, which is so funny, I never introduced myself on these things, on these Monday calls. Busy went by fast. Good to hear, Donna. So I'm Candy Motzek, and I am a coach. I'm a coach for coaches, essentially. So I do business coaching and life coaching for coaches. And it is mainly because, first, I love coaching. It's just like my thing. And so I started doing this a few years ago and just decided that it would be great to have these Monday calls because coaches spend a lot of time supporting each other. We support our clients, we wonder what's going on with our business, and then we kind of empty our cup and don't necessarily refill it. And so this is a good way to just kind of start the week off in a really grounded, centered way, an intentional way. And I thought that it would be a great thing to offer, just as a free offering to come in, see what I'm like to talk to work with. Of course, I have one-on-one clients that I work with. If it's something you're interested in, I would love to hear from you. But this is just my gift. This is my gift to you because I believe in coaching and I believe that everyone could use a coach. Everyone needs a coach. So how can I support more coaches to create more impact in the world? And this is one of the ways that I do it. Anyway, so welcome. Pleased to see you. Let me just see what you guys said. Roxanne, Nancy, Donna, not sure if you heard my original question, which was, how is your weekend? So relaxing. Leisha, nice to hear. Had a weekend off from kid activities. Oh, how good for you. That's great. Daniel, it was long. Making pierogies at the Ukrainian hall. Oh, wonderful. And getting ready to sell online to raise money for the Ukraine. Daniel, I'm sure you have my email because you get the email invites for this. Send me a note. I know that you're local to Vancouver. I've made my donations, our family's donations, but really this is something that is it's so critical to our world. So happy to support and somehow be part of that raising money for the Ukraine. Roxanne, restful, recovering from surgery for a fractured wrist. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your wrist, but I'm glad that you took time to recover and to take care of yourself. So let's dive in. I told you who I am. I heard about your weekend. Nancy, it was good meal planning all day yesterday. Cool. I love that. Do you do the meal prep as well? I'm just curious about that. I got back from vacation late last night and went and cooked myself a whole bunch of stuff. So I've got all my meals ready for the next couple of days. I wanted to know what kind of coaches you are. So if you could put in the chat the type of coach that you are, I'd love to hear. I told you already, I'm a coach for coaches, which is it's a weird turn of phrase, but it captures it quickly and to the point. But what kind of coaching do you do? Pop it in the chat. I want to see what you got. And if you're not a coach yet, and you're thinking of becoming a coach, or you're taking your coach training, put that in there too. That is, every step on the continuum to being a fully booked coach, where you're creating the impact that you want to make in the world. Every step, there is a play, every coach goes through every single step. So tell me where you're at. Any replies yet? So let's see. Usually things pop along pretty quick. Health and wellness, Donna Wolf. Okay, that's cool. And is that in relationship to the to just the way you like to live your life, or is there a specific area in there? Daniel, business coach for small businesses and startups, also a life coach primarily for young adults. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. It's a good blend too. You've got quite a diverse area that you're covering, Daniel. Neat to hear. And I'll wait, Roxanne, I'll wait till you've had a chance to type in there. Health coach, Nancy, for over 15 years. That's wonderful, Nancy. Nice to meet you and welcome. So still waiting for a couple of replies. And, for those of you who are new to the call, or for anybody who's watching the recording, I want you to see that what this is a place where we're relaxed. We're not doing anything too fast. We've got such a busy world, and there's so much going on these days with the Ukraine, with changes related to COVID, with global warming, with all of the things. And I think that we could just use a place where we can just take a breath. And so that's what this place is. Roxanne, licensed therapist, but I often find myself doing relationship coaching. Excellent. Planning to live abroad and move into more coaching. That's so neat. That's great. Okay. So now I've heard, and interesting, and I like that there's such a mix here. Health coach, health and wellness, business, life coach, therapist who does some relationship coaching, health and wellness. Like, what a neat, diverse group of people. Tell me right now, at this moment, like just today, what is your biggest challenge with your coaching business, with becoming a coach, with anything to do with being a coach? Tell me what your biggest challenge is. And again, type it in the chat. I'll bring you guys up onto to speak with me directly in a couple of minutes, but at this point, just sipping my coffee and getting back into the work mode. Although for me, work mode and play mode are much the same thing. So your biggest challenge right now around being a coach, around your coaching business. Just trying to get a bit of a temperature for where you guys are at. Time and marketing. Okay. So Roxanne, I'm curious if you can give me a little bit more information. For example, what is it about time that's a challenge for you right now? Or what is it specifically about marketing? Sometimes just in that getting fine tuning your thoughts about where your challenge is, you may find that you help to untangle that knot a little bit for yourself too. So a little bit more specific, what is it about time? What is it about marketing? Donna, getting people to realize they have a need and that I can help them with the solution. Interesting. Okay. That's a really clear and specific challenge. Not enough time. Marketing is not my thing. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of preconceived notions about what marketing is. And that's one of the places that it can help us to rethink, reword, rework our beliefs on what exactly marketing is. And so just kind of point you towards that, Roxanne. Anybody else? I'm looking for your info in the chat. Your biggest challenge. I've got currently as a digital health coach, this is Nancy speaking, for a tech company and feeling stagnant, working to branch out and start my own business and getting clients. Okay, so you're doing the work right now, but you're wanting to shift how you do the work. Nancy, let me know if I'm hearing that correctly. And this feeling stagnant thing. Yeah, tell me a little bit about that feeling stagnant thing. Just type it in the chat there. What is that? Who am I missing a response from? Let's have a look here. Daniel, haven't seen your response yet. If you're here, and and Leisha, that's okay. So the question, Leisha, was what is your biggest challenge right now in your coaching practice as a coach? So the actual either business side or as a coach. Yeah. And Daniel, I'm not sure if you've been called away as well, but if you're here, pop your message in the chat there too. I'd love to hear from you. And
Do we have to
while,
utilize the chat or can I actually speak?
sure, come on and speak. That's just
Oh,
fine.
okay.
I'm going to move into speaking anyway, so I'd love to hear from you. What's going on?
I think my current challenges right now as a coach are, I'm still kind of in the beginning phases. I've only been doing this for 7 months now. And I think my challenge is that I kind of overthink and I'm not as fully confident in the services that I'm offering because I keep on swimming in the blue ocean instead of creating my own red ocean. And I think that's kind of the challenge that I'm facing right now. And figuring out ways to retain clients as well too, to keep them coming as well.
Yeah. So you've got a whole bunch of different threads there, right? You've got this thought, sorry, and for those of you that work with me, you guys know that as I'm thinking, I can't look at the screen. I have to look away. It's my processing method. So how to get started, how to be kind of organized, it was one thing that I heard. How to differentiate yourself. So that's a marketing piece. And then how to retain clients. Yeah, so those are all interesting different threads of challenges, but they all kind of focus around the marketing and creating clients area. And then you've also alluded to a little bit of a confidence issue about what exactly do I offer? You know, like what is my thing? And so I really appreciate you sharing that with us, Leisha. Daniel, I would like to have my clients do their homework, but I have no control over that. I love that. You know what's so fun about that, Daniel, is that what you've described is the source of the vast majority of discontent in the world is we want something and reality is not doing it. So reality just is, it is what it is right now. And we just wish that it would be different. So wanting your clients to do their homework because you know how much it would benefit them. Oh yeah, expectations, yes. But you know that it would benefit them and then still accepting that they are where they are and that they're doing the absolute best that they can. Yeah. So it's a challenge for sure. Like sometimes we want more for our clients than they can see at that time. But you know, with time they get there, right? I've got clients that I have worked with. I think it's, let's see, for 8 years. And it's so amazing to see how people grow and the evolution in their lives and how, you know, how things change for them. So when Leisha, like you were saying, retaining clients, but when you, as a challenge, but when you can work with people over time, and then you start to see that they get to grow at their own pace. And so, yeah, it's a process. Yes, I know we have our expectations, but I hear you. And so I really appreciate everyone pitching in here and telling me what's going on with you. I think that it's important. And, you know, as a coach, so often we don't have anybody else in our life that really understands this challenge of becoming a coach, building a coaching business and what that is. We may have some peer groups. We may have people that we're taking courses with, and that is helpful. But lots of times in our personal life, we don't get that. We don't get that other place where people understand, well, like, what exactly is coaching and why are you doing that when you have a perfectly good, wonderful job? Why would you want to do something like that? So I'm just glad that you guys are sharing here, and I appreciate your vulnerability. I will tell you what my current challenge is. My current challenge, and this has been my challenge for the year that I've been working on, is one word: streamlining. I have so many things that I do, and so many different offerings in my business, and so many different free resources that people can download, just so many things. And this year is the year of streamlining, because when I streamline and I make my business simple and valuable and helpful for the people that I work with, then I'm positioning myself for that next level of growth. So consider that as well, this idea of pruning. I was doing some journaling this weekend, and this word of pruning came up in the spring. So maybe look at what you're doing, not just in your business, but in your life. The things that you're just doing because that's the way we do them, that's the way we do it. And consider what maybe needs some healthy pruning so that the tree of your life can be stronger and healthier and flourish for the next season. So I just kind of give that to you. Spring is starting here on the West Coast, and maybe it's time for you to look at what's time for me to shift a little bit in my life. I think it was, let me just have a little look here. Roxanne. So, for you, this idea about planning to live abroad and move into more coaching, that's the pruning of what's, the life, the way you see it now and where you want it to change. But for all of us, we live in this society of busyness, and busy doesn't serve us. Busy doesn't make us masterful at our craft. And it also doesn't make us aligned as the strongest version of ourselves. So when we get more centered, more aligned, more intentional, that is when we can create the biggest impact. So just some random thoughts for you. So I wanted to talk today a little bit, and I'm talking a very little bit, about goals. And I don't want you to freak out on me and go, oh no, goals, she's having the SMART goals discussion. That's not what this is about. I find a lot of people that I work with either don't set any goals because they're scared that they're not going to reach them, or they set a fantasy goal. Like, wouldn't it be wonderful if I did this huge thing in this very short period of time? And then they go and they live in this dream world instead of creating a something that they can actually accomplish and create success over a longer period of time. And so I'm curious, to hear from you guys. Do you set goals? Do you achieve goals? Do you set, let me get more specific with my question. Do you set quarterly goals and monthly goals? That's my real question. So come on the microphone and tell me, yes, no, set them, don't set them. What's your experience like with goals? And anybody can either put up their hand or take themselves off mute, and I'll just, and then we'll just chat, have a little bit of a roundtable.
I'll share. I The way you phrase that, I think I do set goals, but I don't know if they're really intentional or if I set them to really, they're realistic, but those time frames you set like monthly or quarterly, I set them more like in a year, I want to be here, or in 5 years, I want to be here, right? But more tangible, hands-on, that short term. I never looked at it that way. I just kind of, I don't think I really write them down like that. I just kind of go for it. But I can see how impactful it can be writing them down and really setting a date, like short
Yeah.
term.
Yeah, definitely. And I go even to the extreme of I set quarterly goals more than I set annual goals, because quarterly is attainable for me. It's not, I'm if I set my annual goal and then 4 months in, I'm behind, it doesn't work. You can see my hands here. It just doesn't work for me. But if I set quarterly goals, essentially 12-week goals, and then I work towards that quarter, then the sum of 4 quarters creates my year. So quarterly and monthly and even weekly. And the thing that I would just share with you, Leisha specifically, but all of you, is that I write my goal every day, because our brain does not want us to grow. Our brain wants to keep us safe and stable exactly where we are. Anything to do with growth is a little bit risky, and our brain wants to keep us nice and safe. So I write my goal every single day. So I would share that with you guys. Okay, Roxanne, I see you've got your hand up. Come on, tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah, so I'm more of a monthly. I try to accomplish monthly goals, because quarterly is too long for me, and I tend to be impatient. I lose I guess momentum if it's too long and drawn out as well. So I try to chunk it just enough so it's something I can that it's more doable in a shorter period of time as to drawing things out. I find that to be more effective. I I think my pain point is maybe accountability. So somebody to kind of say, how's it going with that goal? Yeah. So
Yeah. And it's so, would you mind, Roxanne, if I asked you what's your goal for this month, the month of March?
To get out of this cast.
Okay, well, that's going to happen for sure, right?
I'm tired, but I think I have some monetary. I had some monetary goals of getting out of debt, but I also, my other sub goals is to move. Like I really by the end of this year, I'm going to finish my full-time career, semi-retire, and work full-time finally in my clinical career. But I know if I, when I move to another country, that I may or may not be able to work as a therapist, but more as doing coaching, remotely. So really moving in that direction, putting in a template to, kind of work on my client base is my other goal. And so I have, I have some ideas, but not a whole lot of ideas about how to make that happen. Yeah.
Well, you're in the right place. You're in the right place for sure. And I like this monthly approach. So this is what I do. I like to do my goals, and I like them to be super specific so that I can't wiggle out of it. So it's either number of clients or a revenue goal. And that way, it's always a little bit of a stretch, right? That's my intention, is I want this month to be just a little bit bigger than I feel comfortable, because that's how I'm growing my business and growing myself as a human who creates income. So I might have a goal for a month, like maybe my goal is $20,000 for the month. And maybe I don't make it. Like, it happens that I don't reach that goal, but how long does it actually take me to reach it? So with your monthly goal, I'm curious if you track, like maybe I don't make $20,000 in the month of March, but maybe I make it in 5 weeks. Well, if I can make it in 5 weeks, then I can figure out how to make it in a little bit less time. So for those of you who are new coaches, maybe your goal is your first $2,000. So how many days does it take you to create $2,000? Well, if you've created it in, who knows, 30 days, 60 days, whatever the number of days is, depending on the speed with which you grow, then you can create $2,000 in a slightly shorter time and a shorter time and a shorter time. And so as I'm thinking of my goal, I'm always tracking, and I track it daily, exactly what I'm creating, because I could tell you exactly right now how much I've made this month, how much I've made this quarter. It's not so much about the numbers. Yes, the numbers are important. The more money I make, the more impact I can have, the more I can support my family, the more I can do charitable work in the world. But it's about how do I measure success? And this is part of what this annual, monthly, weekly goal piece is about, is when we give ourselves that a specific goal that we're reaching, then we've defined, this is what success looks like for me right now, because our brain doesn't want us to reach that. Our brain wants to think, oh, so you created, if a new coach may be making $2,000, your first $2,000 is a huge amount. That's some of the hardest money you'll make. But you did it. And as soon as you reach it, your brain's going to go, oh, it's no big deal. It should really be this new number. So when we get super specific, then we're training ourselves to remember what success is. So Roxanne, thank you for sharing with us. That is just great. Now, Daniel has written his, he says he can't talk live, which is just great. And I understand sometimes that's life. So he has annual, quarterly, monthly, and weekly goals. He puts everything in his calendar to avoid the to-do list, and he adjusts his target dates if need be. Excellent. Daniel, when you get a chance, if you can type in the chat, if you're able to participate through the chat, what happens, how do you celebrate reaching your weekly goals? How do you celebrate reaching your monthly goals? How do you rewire your brain so that it starts to lean more towards noticing what success is? I'd be curious to hear. Okay, so anybody else wanted to respond? Donna, Nancy, haven't heard from you yet on this. Do you want to chat, or do you want to come on, come off the mic and talk? Sorry, my nose is itchy.
My Candy, is Nancy. I don't really have goals, so embarrassingly enough, I'm just trying to start the process of thinking of how to go on my own and kind of get rid of my 9-to-5 job. So that's why I was kind of quiet.
Listen, I'm so glad that you came on and shared that with us. It doesn't matter where we're at. Like, you've got this overall vision. So that is actually a goal. Like, if the last day of your 9-to-5, that is a big goal. For sure. And I've done that transition, so I get it. So, and I heard you say that you're kind of embarrassed because you don't have a specific goal. But like, I bet 80% of the people in the world don't have a specific goal. So just the fact that you're here, that you're present, that you're sharing, it means that you're moving in the right direction. And I so appreciate you putting up your hand and telling us where you're at. So good for you. So let me ask you another question, Nancy. Have you had 10 clients as a coach in your business?
Yeah, I've had my own personal training, health coaching business before, like years ago. Okay. And then I kind of went into, going into companies and health coaching that way. So yes, I've had personally, I've had over, 10 clients, and now I'm a digital coach, and we have, tens of thousands of people that we reach every day. So yes.
Yes. So I would ask you to consider, what is one small weekly goal that you could create for yourself just before the end of this call? Nothing huge, just a step in the direction. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Let me think on that.
Did you freak out when I asked you to do that? Okay, well, that was kind of my intention, actually, just to be
Okay.
honest with you, but small thing. And here's where I'm pointing you is, you know, if it was Sunday afternoon and you looked back on your week and you said, "Oh, I did it. I created that thing. I did whatever it is, one post. I sent out one email to somebody to invite them to come and work with me." You know, who knows what that step is, but something that you can, Sunday afternoon, this is the vision for you. You go, "Oh, I actually did it. I did that reach out. I did create that post." One little thing. So I would encourage you to think about that. And Daniel, just coming back to you. So I note how I will reward myself by completing each goal in my calendar. What was this week's goal? And what was the celebration, Daniel? Want to hear. And Donna, coming onto the chat, finding 1 or 2 brand partners, business builders every month. That is your monthly goal. Got it? Is that right, Donna? Pop it in the chat, the yes or no. Is that your monthly goal? Okay. You know that 1 or 2 is not specific, right? So I would love to hear, will you choose 1 or will you choose 2 for your monthly goal? The more specific you can get, it is not so that you create stress and hardship for yourself, but it's so that you know how you measure success for this month. If you've already created 1, well, then maybe the goal is 2. If it's been a little bit of a dry spell for you, maybe 1 is sufficient. I want you to be able to encourage yourself and celebrate your growth. So pop it in the chat, 1 or 2, you tell me. Just getting 1 will be awesome, exactly. Once, and you know what's so fun is that to get 2 brand partners, you have to create the first. And then you create the next, 1 brand partner at a time. You know, for coaches that are starting out, that are, you know, for example, if you're wanting to create your first $10,000 month, you create $10,000, $1,000 at a time. You can't get to $10,000 without creating 1,000 and then another and another and another. So Donna, you're getting 1. That is it. That is this month's goal for you. Cool. And Daniel, sign up 2 clients is the goal. Going out, pizza coming soon with friends. Interesting. Excellent. Good, good, good. Okay. So let me just circle back to my own little list of questions. I want to see where I'm at. Did you want to make sure that I've asked you all the questions that I want? Okay. So you've got a goal, either monthly, weekly, quarterly. I want to ask you, how will you feel when you have reached that goal? And I want to, so come on the microphone if you can, put up your hand or just take yourself off mute. And I want to hear, how will you feel when you reach that goal?
A sense of relief or fulfillment for that moment, for sure, for me.
Yeah.
I will definitely feel like a weight lifted off my shoulder, but it kind of goes back to, you're saying we always live in this world of like busyness. Like, even if I have that sense of accomplishment, like I want to learn how to really honor that accomplishment and not have to always move on to the next project, like really process it and really give myself that accolade that I deserve.
Yeah. And interesting that you have, and sorry, it's not that I'm not thinking about you, it's that when I look outside my window here, it means that I'm thinking more deeply. Interesting that you have 2 different emotions. So relief as one and accomplishment as another. Which do you think is going to be the most powerful emotion that you would use as a motivator?
Accomplishment for sure.
Yeah.
Because relief sounds more like a burdensome You know what I mean? I have to do this, right? Whereas
Yeah.
accomplishment makes me feel more like this is something I want to do. This is a desirable outcome that I want to reach, and I've reached it.
Yeah. And so that combined with wanting to appreciate your accomplishments instead of just going next, right? How do you do that?
Appreciating my accomplishments.
Yeah.
Uh, That's the thing, Candy. I don't think I ever sat down or really stopped and cherished that moment of accomplishing or appreciating the accomplishment that I made for a specific project or task or whatever.
A hard way to live, isn't it? And listen, I'm not saying this in kind of a judgy way. I'm saying it because I've learned this. I've learned it too, right? Like I've been there, I've done that. I'm still learning lots of it. So I asked you that question because I mean, this is what coaches do, right? We ask challenging questions to make you think in a different way. And I have an idea, but I don't really want to share my idea with you yet. What can you do? What will you do to start doing this?
What will I do?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
I know.
I love when my clients say that to me too. They say it's a good question. I'm like, well, I don't always have the answer right now. But what will I do? I know one thing that I can start doing is, it's cliche. It's like the answer in itself, right? It's just really processing and taking a moment back for that accomplishment and really like giving myself praise for it, really talking to myself and saying you did a good job, or like, do you know how hard it is to do this? You did it and you completed it. And just really doing that positive self-talk to really embrace and honor my thoughts and my accomplishments.
Yeah. How do you feel right now? Don't take yourself off. Don't put yourself back on mute.
Oh,
How do you
sorry.
feel right now, now that you've had that thought?
I feel it feels liberating in a sense. And now I just have to do it, right? Put into action. Like, this morning I did something that I've never thought I'd be able to do. Like this morning I met with my website developer, right? And I was like, I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning. She's on the East Coast, right? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. But 5 o'clock, that's so early. But I was like, I gotta get it done. And I was so proud of myself. Like after that call, I was like, oh my God, like I did it, And even though it seems so like small or whatever, it still made me feel good.
Yeah, listen, don't you do that. Sorry, don't you do that.
Yeah.
I could see you going, I got up at 5 a.m. I was committed to myself. I did the thing and I was proud of myself. And then you took this pin and you kind of burst your balloon and said, even though it wasn't that big of a thing, listen, it was a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Every step is a big step. So notice that tendency to sort of like, wow, I really did something. And then to kind of try to take the wind out of your sails.
Yeah.
Notice that tendency.
Mm-hmm.
So do you mind, is it okay with you if I share with you an idea about how you can start doing this? Okay,
absolutely.
good. And this is for everybody. And listen, you guys, as I'm talking to one person, I love that you're putting the information, your responses in the chat. That is wonderful. But I also want you to listen and I want you to think this. How does this apply to me? What one thing can I take away from this that will help me grow, that will help me grow into who I'm growing into? So here's my thought. I have homework. Are you ready for the homework? Will you come back next Monday if you're able?
Yes.
And I want to hear from you. Okay. So the homework is every single day for the next 7 days, at the end of the day, I want you to sit with a pen and paper. If you've got a journal, I'm a big journaler, right? You guys know my journals are right there. And I want you to write, what did I accomplish today? What am I proud of? The more you're set your brain to go looking for the answers to questions, the more it will find. What you're doing right now is a massive step towards becoming somebody who does that goal, for sure. But there's nothing stopping us from feeling accomplished and proud now. So you go look for those things. What am I proud about? And you find that sometimes it's challenging to find something. And sometimes once you start writing, you're like, oh, and I did this, and I did that, and I did the other, and I did the other. And you're cultivating that feeling of accomplishment. Get used to feeling that kind of accomplishment, and that will really stand you in good stead. So will you do that and come and tell us next Monday that you did it? Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, who else has got stuff here? Let me look in the chat. Roxanne, sign up to new clients is the goal, and excited. Roxanne, do you want to come on and talk to me for a minute?
Sure.
So excited is,
It would be my response.
yeah. No,
Excited if I sign up to anyway.
and excited is one of these emotions that is like a, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a fleeting emotion.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, this is so exciting. This is so exciting, but it never lasts. Exciting feels to me like dessert instead of a good, healthy meal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So excited is great. It's hard to maintain excited over a long period of time. What other kind of emotion will you experience when you sign up to new clients? What do you think?
I think I will have a sense of fulfillment because it'll be close, part of my goal to have to start getting new clients. So, so a sense of fulfillment. Yeah, that's that. I don't know.
That's okay.
I think saying that I would feel accomplished would be a stretch because to me, accomplished is when I got everything that I, planned to get. But yeah.
So I just want to interject for a minute here. What I think is great is
Mhm.
that each of us gets to own the emotion that serves us best,
Mhm.
right? And so fulfillment is the one that came to your mind. That's great. Accomplishment isn't quite for you right now. It's not the way you experience that emotion.
Mhm.
Alicia experiences accomplished, and that works for her, but it doesn't work for you. That's wonderful. That's great that you've got what works for you. We all experience things in a different way. And, this is part of you creating the piece of art that is your life, is understanding what works for you. So I'm glad you shared that.
Mhm.
Tell me what fulfilled will be like. How will you, what is fulfilled like for you?
So fulfill means doing what you are, for me, it looks like doing what I am purposed to do, not what I feel like I need to do to be productive or to be, all the cliches we say in this very patriarchal society that we live in. You know, earn your own keep and not be and to be seen as being successful. So I think it's kind of, for me, it's almost the opposite of that. Fulfillment is just like living in your purpose, being happy when you wake up to do what you know that you feel, just feel happy about doing, feel really motivated to do. And for me, it's helping other people, and that's what you know makes me happy, makes me have a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how fulfilled do you feel today?
So I think I'm probably in the middle of the road today. I'm probably at a 5. Yeah.
What can you do to make it a 6?
Let's see. We're in March.
Right today, just today. We're
So today is
just
to
today.
stay focused on what I need, stay focused, stay present, be present for the moment, not try to, think too far ahead, like next week or next month. The things I tell my clients, right? Stay present, be present in the moment, enjoy right where you are. Because if you don't enjoy right where you are, where you want to go is, you think you're going to enjoy it and you're going to be thinking about where you want to go next and where you want to go next. So yeah, stay present.
Stay present. Good
Mhm.
work. I
Mhm.
love that. Yeah. So just in this moment, can you
Mhm.
stay present and can you start to increase how fulfilled you feel? Just right now while you and I are talking.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. It reminds me of Thich Nhat Hanh, who just recently passed from this body. And when he's talking about mindfulness meditation, and every day it's the same. I'm breathing in and I know that I'm breathing out, in, and I breathe out and I know that I'm breathing out. And just to feel that fully present ability to be alive in this moment, just that alone is peace and joy and bliss. So yeah, I love that. Roxanne, thank you so much for sharing that with us. That is just great.
Sure.
Donna? Yeah, now Donna, let's see, exciting. I have legs to move up to the next level. Donna, I'm assuming you're a multi-level network marketer kind of person. And now you heard what I said to Roxanne about excitement and exciting being kind of passing emotions. So Donna, type in the chat here, what emotion will you feel when you reach that next goal? Thinking something a little bit more longer lasting would be. You've got a couple of examples here, but I'd love to hear what you have to say. And Daniel, I love asking what's possible. Yes, I love that. And Don, oh, you already answered, a sense of accomplishment. Good. Today is a day of people who love to feel fulfilled and accomplished and filled with possibility. Ooh, that's so cool. All right. So now you kind of have this thought that I am very intentional that no matter what our goal is, we want it to be fairly specific so that we know how we're measuring success in this little chunk of time. And that when we know how we want to feel, because we know every goal that we want is to create a feeling. We want that goal because we want to experience an emotion. And we know that we can start to feel that feeling now. So the place that I find that this is really interesting is that if I know that if I can experience a feeling of accomplished right now, or empowered or fulfilled, another one that I work on a lot is the emotion of satisfied. When I know that no matter where I am in the journey of my business, I can feel satisfied right now. It makes the entire journey so much more pleasurable because I'm not rushing forward. I'm not rushing to try and get that emotion. I can feel that emotion right now. And if I can feel that emotion right now, it makes me sometimes double, sort of like look again at my goal. Do I want that goal because I think that it's going to give me more validity, that it's going to give me an emotion that I can't experience right now? But if I can experience that emotion right in this moment in time, is that goal really the right goal? And so as we're moving to the end of March, I know there's still 2 and a bit weeks in March, but for people who like to do quarterly goals and then monthly goals, maybe use this emotion tool as a little bit of a litmus test for how you set goals. Whatever the goal may be, 5 clients, 1 client, $10,000 this month, whatever it happens to be, it is something specific. How will I feel when I reach that? What do I think that goal is going to give me? And now cultivate that emotion today and every day as you move towards this goal. Well, if I can feel that way today, if I can feel accomplished or fulfilled or satisfied today, is this really the right goal? Or is this just a goal where I'm chasing my tail? Is this the real goal? So I don't know, we've got about 3 or 4 more minutes. I want to know if that's clear what I'm saying, or if you have questions about that, either pop them in the chat. But I want you to be able to use your emotions as a way to decide for yourself, is that goal the right goal? Or am I just chasing the blue ribbon? You know, maybe I don't even like ribbons. Maybe I prefer, I don't know, maybe I prefer something else. Have I got so hung up into chasing the ribbon that I think is going to give me satisfaction? What do you really want? So I'd love to hear from you guys. If my question wasn't clear, let me know. Sometimes I go off on a random tangent. We never know. And how do I know the goal is the right goal? So are you asking, or are you asking yourself? Are you asking me? Are you asking the group? Or are you asking yourself?
I'm asking you and myself.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So asking me is, that's great. I love that you do that. Are you a coach or something? So how I know that the goal is the right goal for me is if I'm not using it as the carrot on the stick, where I'm avoiding myself and avoiding my life by just chasing a goal. So for me, the emotions that I love to cultivate are empowered, impactful, satisfied, which I already shared with you, accomplished, peace. And when I know that I am living that, then I know that as long as when I am in that goal and I'm living that, then now I know I've got the right goal. But it's all about how will I experience my life. Does that help you?
Yes.
Excellent. Donna, you say yes, because it will help me and my team grow. Good. We don't have time to get into it today, Donna, but I have this question on the tip of my tongue here. Why? And so take that away and journal, and hopefully you'll come back next week and share with us what you learned. But like, why? Why? What difference will it make for you? How will it shift your life? What kind of an impact will that have on their lives as well? I agree, growth is amazing. And the deeper that we go into the why is that important to me, it's going to help you so much when things are not necessarily going the way we want them to in this moment. It's going to help you ground back into that compelling reason. I will make more money, and so will they. And so I don't know if you were here on one of these calls, but I have this thing where I'll ask the question why like 3 or 4 times, and we can all do this for ourselves. Because I do this for me. I'm like, well, so why? Why do I want that? And now I come to the next answer, which you've got a wonderful answer here, Donna. I will make more money, and so will they. And I would circle right back around and ask you to go inward again and say, and why is that important? Why will that help? You know, it may be independence so that they can quit their day job. It may be so that their children can go to university. It may be so they have that safety and security and they know that they've created something that is theirs. It may be a chance to live more of their dream. Maybe they want to travel more. Maybe they want to do something else, but why? So just come back around and ask yourself why. Okay. So I'd love to hear from you guys just before we wrap up. Was this a useful call? A little bit more loose than I normally do. First day back from vacation, I didn't do normally I would create some kind of a worksheet. Alicia, I'm glad it was helpful. You've got your homework. You've got to come back next Monday and tell me what happened, right? And Roxanne, I'd love to see you back next time as well. You know, these calls, like I said at the onset, is, it's just my gift, because I know that the world needs more coaches, and the more that I can support coaches, and the better. Plus, as people get to know me a little bit more, you may reach out, may want to be part of one of my group programs or a webinar that I do, or a one-on-one client, and just know that I am always here for you. So you can always hit reply to any email that I send you, ask me a question. I'm just me. I'm just a person who shows up and does my best to help you. Donna, oh, good for you. So I don't have to work away from home. I can work from home. Good for you. I love that. So notice how it changes, how your answers changed. Nancy, you're so welcome. I'm glad it was very helpful. Okay, guys, time for me to sign off and get ready for my next client. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.